Welcome to Alive to Thrive OT. I'm Tracy Schnabel.
And I'm Lauren Lyman.
And today we're going to be talking about why can't I lose this weight? Again, we're two occupational therapists that noticed there was like a gap in the healthcare system. So we're trying to fill that gap by looking at a variety of factors that contribute to health and well-being, including nutrition, emotional health, and a variety of different areas. But we have a legal disclaimer. All claims made on our podcast, videos, and website are for informational purposes only. The content is not intended to be a substitute for professional medical advice. So we don't give any warranties in the information provided in this video or other videos. And we're not responsible for any injury or loss suffered from any viewing parties. Again, this is just to empower you to have more information to go back to your doctor with. And if you have a medical emergency, please call 911. And now, Lauren, why can't I lose any weight?
Well, because there are 5 underpublicized factors that influence weight loss and weight gain that we really aren't looking at. So, number 1, the duration of consumption. So this is something that we actually are starting to get into a little more. Intermittent fasting is becoming pretty popular. But so why is this? Why does intermittent fasting work? And for those of you who don't know what that is, it's when you basically decide that you're not going to eat for like 12 hours or 16 hours a day because you're giving your body a chance to digest that food, right? So the duration of consumption. Fasting is a metabolic reset. It gives your body time that it needs to reduce inflammation, to find cancer cells in your body and clean them up, fix damaged cells, and finish digesting your food from the previous day. So it's really important time. And if we're eating if we're eating constantly, if we're eating 16 hours a day, it's not giving your body a lot of time to fix the problems, right? Yeah. It's like sleep. Sleep is restorative. So is not eating, right? It's restorative. It helps your body heal. So when you eat, there's about a 3 to 5 hour period after you eat that your body's digesting and absorbing the food, okay? Your insulin levels are high, your blood sugar levels are high, and it makes it hard for your body to burn fat. And it actually takes 8 to 12 hours for your body to reach that post-absorptive state, fasted state. Like a tongue twister.
5 times fast.
Where your body can actually burn the fat, right?
Okay.
So it takes time for your body to get to that point where it can start burning the fat. And then your liver and your muscles store glucose, your blood sugar. And whenever your body needs energy, they supply the glucose to give you energy, right? After 8 hours of fasting, your liver reserve of that glucose has pretty much been used up. So that means your body has to start producing its own glucose, which it uses fat to do. So your liver is going to use its store first. And if you're constantly eating, you're never going to get to use your excess fat as energy. So you're not going to be able to burn off that excess fat. So you may be exercising and it just isn't working for you. That could be a reason why. Maybe you need to think about some intermittent fasting. And it can be as simple as you eating from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. and that's it. I mean, that's doable, right? And then in the evenings, you don't eat after 8 o'clock. And then when you wake up in the morning, you can start eating again at 8. That gives you half of your day for your body to readjust itself. Some people need more time. Some people do a 16-hour fast. So figure out what works with your schedule. It is typically better to eat in the morning than eating late at night before bed. But everyone's schedule is different, so do what works for you. But consult with your doctor because there are some conditions that shouldn't be fasting if you do already have a medical diagnosis. But in terms of wellness, if you are a healthy individual and you don't have any medical concerns, this is doable. So consult with your doctor and give it a try. Number 2, the sleep and diet downward spiral. So what does that mean? When your blood sugar is high, it causes insomnia and frequent urination because it really stimulates things in your liver and things in your body, right? So you don't sleep well, right? And then when you don't sleep well, then you end up having cravings for more sugar, right? And it starts with this whole thing all over again. You want energy, you want sugar. If you have low blood sugar, then your cortisol gets going. Your cortisol is like your stress hormone. And then your adrenaline gets pumping. And then your growth hormones get going. And then you end up with food cravings because your body's hungry, right? So that wakes you up in the middle of the night. So you kind of have to find your sweet spot of sugar levels, okay? You don't want to eat a piece of cake and go to bed. You don't want to starve yourself and then go to bed, right? You want to make sure you have a good balance. And the problem with sugar is when you eat a lot of refined sugar, like cake and ice cream and things like that, it causes a spike. Well, what happens when you spike? Then you go down in the dumps, right? So you have to make sure you're eating food that keeps you in that happy medium so that you can stay there overnight when you're sleeping, okay? Another thing is weekends. So if you eat unhealthy food at a time when you should normally be sleeping, then it affects your circadian rhythm, so your natural sleep-wake cycle. And that causes fatigue during the day, it causes sleep disorders, and it causes chronic sleep deprivation. So then you're exhausted, and when you're exhausted, it changes hormones that regulate your hunger and your appetite. So they're so intertwined. So you don't want to eat things that are going to ruin your sleep, because if you ruin your sleep, then you're going to have cravings and you're going to have a hard time regulating your hunger and your appetite. Yeah. So then also when you're tired, you make poorer health decisions overall. So then you might go and grab that piece of cake, right? Yeah. So they're so intertwined. So if you're having a sleep disorder that's independent of diet, get that looked into. If your sleep could be related to your diet, check it out. See if there are some changes that you can make, and you could be improving your sleep and your diet, and then it'll be an upward spiral. So look into that. All right, number 3, macronutrient ratios. What are macronutrients? Carbohydrates is one, your carbs, which is glucose. It's used for energy, and it's stored if it's not used immediately, okay? Stored as fat. Your proteins, your amino acids, they build and maintain your muscle. And then you have your fats, your fatty acids, which regulate the hormones in your body. So one thing that we really don't discuss too much is there are actually 3 different body types: ectomorph, mesomorph, and endomorph. So we think that one size fits all. That's kind of the approach that we take to healthcare, to dieting, to everything. Like, do this, it'll work. Not necessarily, because we're all different, right? We all have different types of we all have different body types that function in different ways and that need different fuel, okay? An ectomorph is a thinner person with a smaller bone structure that they tend to have more difficulty gaining weight. And they are thyroid and sympathetic nervous system dominant. So their thyroid's really calling the shots. Their sympathetic nervous system, which is, things that get your heart rate going and things like that, they're calling the shots. So they're ready to go. They have a fast metabolic rate and a high carbohydrate tolerance. So they need more carbs, a moderate amount of protein, and less fat. So a diet for this person would look like 55% carbs, 25% protein, 20% fat. Then you have your mesomorphs, which are your athletic body, wider shoulders, smaller waist, really symmetrical frame, a lot of lean muscle mass if it's an active person.
This one would be me.
A medium-sized bone structure. They can easily gain muscle, but they can also gain weight a little more easily than would an ectomorph. So they are really testosterone and growth hormone dominant. Okay, so testosterone is what builds up your muscles, right? Growth hormones. That's what's really controlling their body. So they need more of a mixed diet. So maybe like 40% carbs, 30% protein, 30% fat. Then you have your endomorphs. These are your people with larger bone structure, higher body fat. They have a hard time losing weight, and they have excess calories that are stored as fat, more so than the other 2 body types. So they need more fat and protein. Fat, remember, controls your hormones, and then protein for muscle, and less carbohydrates. And really, they should only be eating carbs after exercising. So that would look more like 25% carbs, 35% protein, and 40% fat. So we're different people. We need to approach healthcare differently. So that's really important. So consider that. Number 4 is your health status overall. So I like to refer to this little triangle of health. So you have your diet, your microbiota, which is your microbiome, your gut bacteria, and your immunity. They're so intertwined, and we don't look at that. So think about your diet. Your diet, you need to be getting vitamin A, vitamin D, folate, iron, all of these things to help build up your immune system, right? Well, if you have an immunodeficiency or if you're immunocompromised, you may have trouble absorbing the nutrients from your diet. So those go hand in hand. Diet and your microbiome. You need to have vitamin A, fat, iron, fiber, sugar, all of these things to help supply your gut bacteria, to diversify your gut bacteria, which promotes health. But if your gut bacteria is all messed up, you're going to have a hard time absorbing nutrients from your diet. So those go hand in hand. Then you have your microbiome and immunity. So your microbiome basically supplies your immune cells. Your gut bacteria determines what immune cells are going to be produced. So if you have an unhealthy gut, you're not going to have a strong immune system. And your immunity affects your microbiome. So if you have an immunocompromised person or you have some kind of immunodeficiency, then it's going to be harder for you to respond appropriately to certain foods and, food intolerances and things like that. So look at your triad here. Figure out, is there a kink somewhere in there? Can I fix this? Fix one, fix them all, right? You can. One thing affects the other, so you really need to watch what's going on in your body. And then there's also the presence of toxins. So if you have a lot of toxins in your body purposely, because we want to survive, that's the goal of our body, purposely stores toxins in fat cells. So if you're working out and you're really trying to lose this fat just merely through working out, that's great. You're going to shed the fat cells, but then those toxins, they're free in your body and they're going to start attacking your vital organs that you need to survive. And again, body's goal is to survive. So what's your body going to do? Produce more fat cells to house those toxins so they stop attacking your body. So then if you're the type of person who exercises and you're doing well for a while, but then all of a sudden you're gaining weight again, you might want to look at the toxins in your body. How do you detox? We got some videos on that. Check it out. Search for our detox videos. Fruits and vegetables are a great way to detox. If you have trouble getting enough fruits and vegetables in your diet, we do promote a whole food nutritional product that will help you bridge that gap between what you should be getting and what you are getting. And then remember to just detox yourself from things like cell phone exposure, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, radiation. Filtered water is better than regular water. Avoid processed food, things like that to really help your cells detox so that when you shed fat cells, you're also shedding the toxins that go with them so you don't have that rebound effect.
And I actually saw what you were talking about happen to one of my friends. She was exercising so much, trying to reduce calories so much, and then she could not stop. She couldn't keep losing the weight, and it was like terrifying to her because she was doing everything right. But yeah, her dietitian said like, hey, the reason why you can't lose weight is because your body thinks that you're trying to kill it. So yeah, you have to have balance.
Right. Okay, and then number 5 is your lymphatic system, something that we don't talk about, which is so weird to me. A lot of people have lymphatic blockage, and it causes so many health problems. Yeah. Why is that? Because your lymphatic system is your garbage disposal. It eliminates toxins from your body. And this could be related to the other thing we were just talking about. So your lymphatic system is made up of vessels, glands, your spleen, your thymus gland, your tonsils, and lymph is basically the fluid that flows through it, okay? So you have organs, ducts, and lymph nodes that serve as filters that remove excess fluid and toxins from your body. That's important. You need to get rid of the excess fluid. You don't want to you don't want to have fluid retention. You'll look puffy. You need to get rid of the toxins, obviously. So you need your lymphatic system to be working properly, okay? So your lymphatic system also processes undigested proteins and fats. So your short and medium chain fatty acids are processed by the liver, but your long chain fatty acids are actually processed by the lymphatic system. So what happens is between meals, your lymphatic system delivers those long chain fatty acids to give you energy. Well, if there's a blockage, fatigue is a common symptom of a blockage of your lymphatic system or something not working properly in your lymphatic system. So, and it's hard to lose weight when you're tired all the time, you're not motivated, you can't work out, right? So you want to make sure your lymphatic system is working properly. And then factors that impair optimal function of the lymphatic system. So if you are concerned about your lymphatic system, processed food and their byproducts after they're metabolized, food additives, chemicals that are in products that we use every day, pollution, both air and water, stress, living a sedentary lifestyle, injury, and poor posture. So if your posture is poor, things can't flow nicely. You have to open it up, let things breathe, let things move, flow, right? So what happens when your lymphatic system isn't working properly? Well, toxins build up, and then it causes swelling in the body. Impaired fat absorption. So fat starts to accumulate and deposit onto tissues and fat cells in your body, and then you end up gaining weight. So it's not as simple as diet and exercise all the time, because our bodies are such a well-oiled, intricate system, and if one thing goes wrong, it can really affect a lot of things. So gaining weight can be a symptom of your lymphatic system not working properly. It can be a symptom of your gut microbiome being off, of immune system problems. It can be a symptom of, your sleep. You're not sleeping good enough. It could be that you're eating too much through a long period during the day. It could be that you're not eating right for your body type. There are so many components that aren't really looked at. So just remember, you are a well-oiled machine made up of intricate parts. You need to look at every single one of those parts. That's the first thing you need to remember. 2, one size does not fit all. We are all different. Yeah. You can tell, it's not just like, oh, this person's fat because they made bad life choices. It's not just, oh, this person's skinny because she eats healthy. I've seen a lot of skinny people who eat really bad and really poorly. So don't make assumptions, because we are all made differently. We have different body types, and we need different food to fuel our different body types. So that's my tidbit for today.
Yeah. So that's fantastic. Yeah. And I remember reading about the lymphatic system, like the number one thing that you could do is like walking. They were saying if you can't do anything, like if you're like, I can't, do all this exercise, just walking actually stimulates your lymphatic system.
Grab that white bag over there.
There's a white bag.
I have a white bag.
This right here.
Yes.
Okay.
So I just bought this. It was an impulse buy because it's $10, so I felt really justified in doing it. This is a lymphatic brush.
Oh, it's very light.
Okay.
You don't need to do too much to stimulate it. It's brushing technique.
It's a brush. It's just a little soft brush. And you can look it up online, look up videos. You want to go towards your heart, towards the lymph nodes. You start distal, start at the ends and go up. Go towards your heart, the feet, go up. And it helps to drain all the crap in your body. So something simple you can do in addition to walking.
Yeah.
Exercise, drink lots of water,
So thank you for joining us. We are so glad you are here. We're wishing you physical, emotional, and spiritual health, and we hope that you have been able to take something from this. And again, functional medicine doctors are really good at knowing about all the things Lauren was talking about today. So we would prefer to go to them, but not all doctors are aware of all of the things that she said. So you'll have to find one that fits with you and that has done a lot of research and education on these topics.
Yes. So please like our video, share our video, subscribe to our channel, and please visit us at www.facebook.com/Lauren and Tracy. We have updates on our videos on there all the time. And please email us at alivetothrivegt@gmail.com. Feel free to send us an email with any questions, suggestions, and if you're interested in the whole food nutritional product, shoot us an email and we'll give you the information. So thank you.
Bye, guys.